Hi, Mark Jamin here, Medical Director for the Haywood County Health Department, and let's talk about this pandemic. So it's time for our weekly update, and let's get right to it. Positive cases continue to go up. North Carolina, the trend is going up, Georgia too. The R naught has gone last week from in the zero point 0.8 range up to 0.96, creeping closer to the number of 1, above which indicates increasing spread. In Haywood County, we're up again in our total number of cases, now up to 48 as of today, and it's Thursday as I'm recording this. I'll remind you that at the end of April, the initial 5 cases we had all recovered without any further spread. We were essentially at 0 cases that posed a threat to the community at that time. Now, at the end of a month, Haywood County has gone from that 0 really to 43 cases, a doubling rate now around 5.5 days. And if you add in the 5 we had before, that's how we get to the 48. And by the way, the rest of North Carolina is also seeing increasing numbers as well. And whereas the other counties had more cases before, Haywood County now has the most cases west of Buncombe. Another metric we're following are the percent of tests that are positive. North Carolina, that has crept back up to 8%. It represents not only more testing, but also indicates more disease than previously thought. And I would indicate that also 10% is a threshold above which a place is considering to be a hot spot. Haywood County, we remain a little bit up at 5.5%. Another metric we're following, the number of hospitalizations. North Carolina, that continues to increase and has so for the past 12 days. Haywood County saw its first positive case hospitalized and on a ventilator this past week. A month ago, it was not clear where we were headed. But now it's much more concerning. We have been seeing positive cases just about every day now. A doubling rate at around 5.5 days translates to 3,000 cases a month from now. So you can do the math yourself. So what you as an individual does right now is what will determine where we will be by the end of June. Now I may be preaching to the choir some here, but I know there are a lot of people who believe this is no big deal. And for a moment, I want to talk to you. So let's review what we now do know. So some say this is an old person's disease. Well, here's what we know. We have now had cases distributed across all ages from childhood to 80. 2/3 are between the ages of 25 and 65. And there are just as many above 75 percentage-wise as below 25. And the North Carolina data is similar. This is not just an old person's disease. Well, then people say, well, the only people who are dying are the old people. I'm young, nothing for me to worry about, right? Well, true, the majority of deaths are in people over 75, like your parents and your grandparents. And if you're lucky enough, your great-grandparents. Think you can't be exposed, say at work, and give it to others? Well, work is where the majority of our cases have originated. And because people have not been isolating, entire families are now sick. But maybe the thought of infecting someone else is not that big a deal for you. So let's just talk about you for a minute. In North Carolina, the death rate in those between ages 25 and 50 has doubled from 2 to 4%. Yes, the odds are with you. That's still a small number. But stop and think about talking to a family member of someone who is not so lucky. There are 33 of those families in North Carolina alone. And do you really want to take the chance that you are not going to be one of those 4%? That worth the risk? And are you paying attention to what's happening to those who are supposedly recovered? For many, it's become a long, drawn-out recovery with permanent long-term complications like lung scarring and chronic trouble breathing, kidney failure, and heart failure. Don't believe that? I encourage you to pay attention. There are others, I have heard, who think this is an outrageous abuse of their liberties and freedom. So please, if you will, share with me the tradition and upbringing you had that makes it okay for you to endanger someone else's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in order to exercise your freedom. So let me repeat, what we each do as individuals right now is what will determine where we are by the end of June. And you remember I put this graph up of the curve. Which curve will we be at a month from now? The one that's shooting up or the one that's flattening out? That's up to you. There's an old saying in medicine, you don't have to be right, you just can't be wrong. In a month, we could be having the same conversation with 3,000 cases here or 50. The choice is yours. And for those of you who grasp what I'm saying already, thanks for listening and hanging in there with me. And if you know someone who might benefit from this video, please share it with them. It's way past time we have a dialogue in our community about what's best for our community, which just happens to be what's best for each individual. So remember the 3 W's: show your IQ, practice the golden rule of gathering. Be well and be careful, especially right now.